After spending more than 500 hours using Claude Code, I found a way to make Claude Code work for you and not against you. If you are a developer in a company or a SaaS creator, this video is made for you. I will show you everything I learned after using Claude Code for months and months. If you already have some trouble, some hallucination, some issue with Claude Code, you need to know that it's not the fault of Claude Code. Most of the time, it's because of you. Because in this video, I will give you all the details that I implement to have the best possible workflow that enable Claude Code to create literally any app in a record time. And for this, there is mainly 7 points. The first 3 basic is the memory, the command, the hook, and then we will see the statue line, the subagent, and the MCP. I prepare a lot for you, so be ready, like this video right now, and I will explain you the rest. So the first thing you need to understand is the memory of Claude Code. What is the term memory that they use? Basically, it's this injecting prompt in start of every of your session. So every time you start a conversation, they will use the file named claude.md or the claude/rules, and they will inject the contents of this file. So for example, if you have a project like this and you have claude.md, they will inject this in all of your Claude conversation. So this file is really important because you can see that in the prompts, they ask the IA to follow exactly the information that you have inside this claude.md. So every time you start a conversation with your user prompts, they will attach the file claude.md. So you have 3 different possibilities to add claude.md. The first one is the general claude.md. So in the folder .claude/claude.md, you can add any global rules. So for example, you can say who you are, what you do, and information about you, information about how you want the IA to reply in general. Then in each of your projects, you need to add a claude.md that informs about the project. I will show you an example just before. And the last one is the specific folder claude.md. So in any folder, for example, here in source src/command/claude.md, I have a specific file that will inform the IA how to use this folder, how to code with this folder, okay? So how it happens when you have this super specific information, this will basically, every time the IA is reading a file, if she reads a file that is in a folder that have the claude.md, it will attach like this a system reminder of the content of this file. So now what you need to put inside this file. So for example, I show you one of my projects just here, and the main information we will want to add inside this file is first general information about what your application does. It's really important because when you will say, oh, I want to change the credit system, but the credit system is about what is related to this. So we will add all the main feature, the main information that the IA need to create feature in your app. Then we will give some key file information. So for example, 90% of my change will be inside this file. So why I would not specify them? So at any time when I say, you need to change the editor, he knows what he needs to do. You need to change the person, he knows what he needs to do, and everything. Then we will say architecture, which tool you use, really important, because if you say, okay, add this thing for the authentication, then the IA will be like, but which tool you use for authentication? And with this, he will know that he uses better auth, so we will just basically directly search the right information. So this is specific to my app. Project structure, really important. Key feature, the same as we have. So this is about the boilerplate and this is about the app. Okay, so this is the specificity of this code. Then I will explain some methods, some database, dialog system, and what is really important will be this file. So you can also separate, if you have too much thing, Like in this file, I have really a lot of things. So I create development command. What is really important is to specify all the npm command or npm commands that is available for the IA, so the IA can basically use them without hallucinate some shitty stuff. Okay, really important. So you can create a claude.imd or this file inside the rules. So for example, I had all the React specification, I had all the commands, and in general, I had also like some workflow information. So anything you want. To update this file, I recommend you to go in the first thing in this description. You will have my configuration. And for example, if I need right now to update this, I will use a skill. So we will see it later, but you have a command that is named Claude memory, and I can specify like add or update the main feature with the current implementation. So here I will be able to make update in this file really fast using the skill, and the skill will be optimized to create the best possible prompt. So really important, have clean memory. All your project, the result you will have is defined by your memory. You have bad memory, like this word memory is a little bit confusing. You can say instruction, system prompts, anything you want. If this is bad, your result will be bad. Is it that simple? And if you want good memory, don't write your claude.imd by yourself. Use a skill, and you can use the skill by going in the comments in the description section, and I will drop a link so you can download this skill. Okay. Second phase is the command. The command is just fucking important. Like, this is the key. I never run a task. I never go in Claude Code, so I will open a new terminal window just here. I never go in Claude Code and say, oh, please update this file, blah, blah, blah. This never happened, and it should never happen to you, okay? We will need to have commands. I never do this, okay? You will use this. So what is a command? Basically, it's a prompt, okay? So if you use Codex, it's named prompt, okay? If you use Claude Code, it's named command. Same for cursor. It's also named command. So basically, it will just be instruction that will be injected with your message. So for example, if I run the command /journal for journaling, okay? And here I add some parameter. It will send this JSON to the Claude API. It will run this journal is running, and then with this message, with your arguments, it will run the complete markdown file, basically, okay? So what is a command is basically a markdown file. So I repeat a bit myself. Here, everything that is repetitive will be a command. To create a command is fucking easy. You go in Claude, you go in any project or in the global command. So when I talk about global is .claude/command, and you can create a command. So here I come here, I make right click, and I create a new command. So for example, the basic of basic commands can be basically how to create and implement a feature. Me, what I like is Apex. Apex is for analyzing the code, then plan, then execute, then examine the code. Okay, so for example, you have this command and you will say, please workflow, follow this workflow, and here we have each step. But this is not enough. Okay, so the details we need to know is first to add arguments. To add arguments is simple. You can just add at the end of the file user argument, so it will inject the argument of the user here. Kind of. And then here we will have the command. But writing a command yourself is the worst thing you can do. We will use Claude to write the command. So in the description, you will find create/command. And here I can enable the voice, and I will cut this part. So here I just transcribe what I want. I will just show you. So create a command Apex, analyze, plan, execute, examine. The objective is that I follow this feature. And when she make the plan, I want the IA to stop and ask me what I want to do. So when you run this command with the argument, it will use the skill and create an optimized file and command for you. And then you will be able to use this command. So for example, this is a repetitive task. I have this Apex, and then I will be able to run /Apex to have my specific workflow that I love and that I use daily. You can have a lot of other tiny example while it's working. For example, if you do commit, we want it to make commit message like this. We will be able to integrate this kind of command, so whenever you need to commit, you can use it. For example, explore, so this is specifically to make the IA exploring. And so here we have the Apex workflow, and we have a beautiful command with everything. And here I don't know why this skill doesn't get running. So this sadly happens sometime. I don't know why, maybe because I stop. But it forget to add the metadata. But if it's use the skill, like you can see just here, it will most of the time use the metadata because the prompt is really clear about it. Okay, so basically this is the real result that I want to show you before. It add the description, the argument it, and here it creates really beautiful format with phases, with XML to separate the data, with action, goal, output, tool, and everything. So here we can see that we have a beautiful comment that when we will use, I promise that we will have just crazy results, and creating comments yourself is no sense. Use this skill, first link in the description. So this is the command, and I make an example here. So this is the comment of the workflow, but we already see all of this. Third thing is the hook. So the hook is quite underrated, and it's quite specific to Claude Code actually. So the hook will be 5 kind of hook, but the main is the before tool and after tool hook. So for example, in the before tool, we will be able to do nothing, cut the action, or trigger user validation. For example, we can create a before tool command validation. So if here I go inside Claude Code and I say, just for test, try to run rmrf/this folder doesn't exist. So I ask him to run the really dangerous command in my / directory with a folder that doesn't exist just here. But I'm not afraid of it because as you can see, we just have my tool running. My tool say potentially dangerous command detected. Command rm blah 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 violation critical. Do you want to process? Yes, no. Obviously here we will say no, and we avoid to run this command. So me, I'm not afraid to use the bypass permission, and this is come together. When I launch Claude Code, you see I use this cc command. Why I use this cc command? Because we can see that I have a command just here, cc, that run Claude with dangerous skip permission and verbose. This is personal preference. With this dangerous skip permission, Claude never ask me question. It just work. It just do the thing. But like when I say this to someone, it's like, but you are fucking insane. Like what happened is try to delete your home directory. Like, let's see how he try, because he cannot, because I have a process, I have hooks, I have protection. All the command that is not validated by my pre-hook will be rejected automatically. So this is the before tool. And when the IA do something, you can also do after tool. For example, modify file or add context. Easy after tool work is to run prettier. So like every time you update a TypeScript file, you need to run prettier. Obviously, again, you will never do this yourself. If you want to do it, you run Claude Code just here, and you say use agent Claude Code guide to create a hook that run prettier every time I update a tsx file inside this project. So whenever you want to create a hook, use Claude Code. Never create things yourself. It's useless. You can just ask Claude Code to do it. It will do it faster, better, everything. So no question asked. So this is the 2 kind of hook that is nice, and how to create a hook. Like I told you, just use Claude Code to create hook. Fourth thing is the MCP server. So the MCP server is quite too much popular, but wrongly used. So the MCP server is really simple. We have a host. The host is actually Claude. And then we have a MCP server. For example, a good MCP server that I really like is Context 7. So this will run locally. And then this MCP server will be connected to internet, and he will be able to use the context 7 database, any database, any API, any code. So this will be the workflow that we have. The MCP take place in your context, and this you need to understand it really clearly. For example, we have here the system prompt, the system tool, and the memory file. This take this place. And then the MCP tool, for example, with 5MCP tool, I use all this context. Is like 10-15% of the available context. This context will not be used to do anything else. So whenever you are on Claude Code, you can run /context to really easy visualize your context. So here, if I check the context, we can see that I have this few MCP tool that doesn't have a lot of token. Yes, there is just this chat.cn that should not be here. And this we can see MCP tool use actually 4.1% because I don't have a lot. But you need to run this command and verify that the MCP tool doesn't take too much. Because when I ask a question like I just did, create a hook, why in the world I have the chat.cn MCP tool? It's fucking useless. I don't want this MCP chat.cn. What the hell? Okay, so here to disable it really fast, we make @ like this, and we can write at chat.cn, write enter, and we just disable it. So now when we write /context a second time, we can see that we have less MCP tool just here. So instead of 4%, we have now 1.7, and we have more context. Also, you need to be aware that the auto compact take a lot of place. Me, I recommend most of the time to disable this auto compact. So it looks strange. You go in /usage, then you go in config with tab, and here we have auto compact. When you make it true, like just now, I make it true, and I run /context after making it true, we have a big part of the context that is just deleted. Actually, it's pretty insane. It's even fucking insane. We have 38% of the context that is deleted for auto compact. This is useless. Useless. The recommendation I have for you is to always disable it. Okay, I make a mistake. Usage, config, disable. We have more context, and you can follow your context with here. When you arrive to 90% or 95%, just run /compact. If you wait too long, the output of the compact will be smaller, but it's okay. So this is really important. The MCP take place, so you need to optimize it. For example, the Stripe MCP is pretty big. Here I have one big prompt. It's named exec command in Stripe. So you need to disable and enable it. Then which MCP I personally recommend? I recommend only 2 MCP. The first one that is free to use is context 7. It's really practical because sometimes the IA will not have all the information. So for example, if you use React TanStack form, he will maybe struggle to do some stuff, and he will be able to search the doc for TanStack form. When he's on it, the IA can run this. He can run like how to prefetch data, and he will have like some tips, some token just here that will increase a lot actually the result that you used with IA. This is the first thing that I recommend to use, and the second thing is Exa. This one is pricey, but it's pretty not expensive, but still you will need to pay. And it's really nice, like whenever you want to make research, it searches really fast. So for example, best form library in React, and it will show kind of information like this. So you can see we have every possible library, and it's really fast. So this will help the IA to make better reply. So this is the 2 MCP tool. They doesn't use a lot of place. So for me, I would only use this 2 MCP tool, and I will put everything else in the trash. So this is my unpopular opinion, but I really believe it. Same thing with the sub-agent. Why we need sub-agent? Because every time you ask something to search some information, it will make query. What it will do when it does query, it will maybe use context 7, and context 7 will maybe output 5,000 token. Then it will use web fetch and maybe it will output 3,000 token. And then web search that will output 3,000 token. Everything to reply to the question, what is the best form library? So this, we just spend 10,000 tokens for this that is not anymore available in our context. So how to fix it? We ask IA to run a sub-agent. This sub-agent will spend all of this token, unlimited token, just is free. And then he will output a small portion inside our main context. So if we compare both, we have this Next.js search that takes 28,000 tokens in our context, and now we have between 1 and 3 tokens in our main context. So we can basically chat more, spend more time, have better feature, have better result, everything. So this is really important. And what you need to take care of is that sub-agent take also some space. So if we check here, you can create custom sub-agents, and we can find them if we scroll by running /agent. Okay, by running /agent, we can see all the custom sub-agents, and I don't know why they doesn't show up anymore here, because here, yes, I have the custom agent. Okay, just here. So here the custom agents, we have 5, and they all have some token that will be injected in all our prompts. What is this token that will be injected? We can go in agent, in sniper, and basically this description. So bigger the description is, bigger this token will be included in your prompt. So I can know when she need to use this agent or this other agent. I strongly recommend to use really strong, small description, as small as you can, and then trigger them manually using commands. So for example, if you have this command apex as a first step that use this analyze step. And this analyze step for now doesn't specify any usage of agents, but this is a mistake. We can basically, so I lost my chat, but it's okay. We can basically ask IA, in the analyze step, you need to use YZ agent. So this is exactly what I do. So if we check my personal configuration, just here you can find agent, and for example I have explore, just here explore codebase, explore doc, web search, and inside my personal command apex I specify inside the analyze process launch parallel sub-agents, explore codebase, web search, explore doc. So the IA is able to run agents, the right agent for the right thing, without needing a 2,000 context description that will just fucked up all my chats for something I use 1% of the time. So this is the efficiency you need to find. Don't fuck up your context with things that you use 1% of the time. This is really important, and this will drastically upgrade the result you can have, okay? So this is really important. Use sub-agent wisely. If you want to create a sub-agent, we do the same stuff. We will run /create sub-agent with the skill. We explain then what we want to create. We write enter, and basically we have our sub-agent create. What kind of sub-agent we have? We have only 2 main kind of sub-agents. The first kind is just here to gather context. So for example, here explore codebase. When we want to explore, discover the codebase, we gather context together for our main agents. Documentation is the same, web search is the same. So this is a context gathering agent that optimize the size of our context. Second kind of agent is the action agent. So for example, I have a really funny command that is /fix grammar. /fix grammar, then I can write any folder. So I will write just, for example, statue line. So what this command will do, it will check all the file I have in statue line, and instead of checking the grammar one by one, it will launch as many sub-agents as he need. So it will basically run each sub-agent that will fix the grammar of one file. So we will see if he's able to do it. So now you can see he runs agent to fix grammar in every file that can have grammar error. So instead of doing it, here I don't have a lot of files, so it's not that useful, okay? But in a real project, in a landing page, maybe you have 20 files, it will run a lot of agent that will fix the grammar. And as you can see just here, he fixed one grammar error and he can fix 10 files at the same time. That it's way faster than if you run this agent for one file. So really useful for the sub-agents. Next step. So here I make just an example of the agents. So the next step is the statue line. The statue line is really powerful. This statue line is my old statue line, but in the description you can have a link to have my new statue line. I will explain you. So the statue line can show really important information and you need to be sure that you have only important information inside this statue line. For example, me, if I divide this down so you can really see it with my camera, I will have the branch I'm currently in, the file I edit, the folder I am, the current model I use, the spending I have today. So this is the session, sorry. The spending inside the session, the number of token usage inside the session. So the session is the actual chat. Percentage of context available for 200 token is the maximum. The percentage I have used, and here it's maybe the time I currently have this session. And then here with L, I have the dollar I spend during my actual, how we name this, my actual 5-hour window. This is in the 5-hour window, we have $9 spent, and here 8% of the context use. And here it's the time spent. Okay, so this is the time I have left in my 5-hour window. I also create a really complex script for this statue line. You will maybe joke at me a bit because I have really a lot of time to lose. But here I can run bunrod config and I can basically change all the settings I have for my statue line. So sadly it's too small, but as you can see, I can show and hide a lot of stuff. This is my own configuration. So sometimes I want to change something, for example, the style of this progress bar, I can change it like this, and everything I can change. So we have a lot of information. And also for calculate the spends I use basically a database that will store the price I spend for each of my sessions. So for example, if I run spend today, I have all the session and run, how many dollars it costs, and I have the total. So today I spend $119 exactly, and I have 34 sessions. And I can run also months, and here I can see that I spend 1,894. The difference with this and the calculate of the session that we generally have when we just use the token is that inside the session cost, we also have the web search use, the web search tool, every sub-agent, everything is included. So it's why it's the real price of Claude Code is 1,894. This statue line you can also have in the description. So this is the main information about Claude Code. I give you everything I learned with this 500 hour. The last thing I want to show you is something I didn't put here. It's the skill. How to use the skill. The skills is basically knowledge. When you want IA to have new knowledge, you will use a skill. So for example, in create prompt, we have all the information to create a good prompt. Create / comments, everything. So for example, prompt example. So IA will be able to use this to have example of good prompts. She can use the pattern. So she can, for example, use this progress, this pattern, this example of comment and everything. So this will be injected. How to use arguments, everything explained. And tool restriction, about how to use tool restriction. Obviously, you can also use create prompt skill. So because comment is basically a prompt. So for example, I have inside the skill, I have also all the prompt engineering reference. So I can basically use this reference also on top of the current skill. So I have a skill create prompt that have all the knowledge about the prompting. I have a specific skill for / comment that I have the knowledge about the / comments. And together you have just the atomic bomb of the prompt. You know, like it's fucking insane. I create fucking genuinely crazy prompt with this. Today I create this brainstorm comments that will make 4 rounds to reflect on a subject. And the output I get with this comment, I create this comment in 5 seconds by just speaking to my computer, and now I have crazy result with this. I brainstorm all the day with this. That's why I spend so much money. So this is all I know about Claude Code. There is even more stuff, my tips, my way of using it, but this is the basic knowledge you need to have. If you like this video, make a comment and click on the first link in the description to download this configuration. I will find my way to help you to have it as fast as possible. So if you put your email and you don't receive it, just spam my email until I send it to you. I promise I will do it. See you.